That is just wild.
I don't know where the hell I'm going.
I can hear the screams.
This encounter comes from a YouTube channel called Travel Tales. For Chris and Charlene, van life had always been a refuge. Their motorhome was more than a vehicle. It was a moving shelter for freedom, adventure, and quiet moments surrounded by nature. From scenic overlooks to peaceful campsites, the road had given them comfort and connection. But one night in France would shatter that sense of safety and force them to question how secure life on the road truly is. The day began like so many others. Chris and Charlene explored the countryside, searching for the perfect place to park for the night. Eventually, they found it, a picturesque spot at the top of a hill, surrounded by trees, with benches and a fire pit already in place. The view was stunning, calm, inviting. As daylight faded, they built a fire, shared a meal, and talked about future adventures. Despite the chill in the air and the wind slowly picking up, the atmosphere remained peaceful. Nothing felt wrong, but the parking area sat on a slight incline, making sleep uncomfortable. After weighing their options, they chose to move to a flatter spot lower on the hill. By the time they parked again, exhaustion had fully set in. They locked the doors, settled inside the motorhome, and prepared for what they believed would be a quiet night. Peace, however, was not waiting for them.
We're back on the road because we couldn't sleep where we were. Basically, there were a lot of people outside our van and we didn't feel safe there, so we had to leave. We were asleep and we heard a lot of noise coming from outside. We think that there were people having a laugh, and a chat, but it turned out to be a nightmare for us. We're very tired right now.
At around 3 a.m., they were jolted awake by noises outside. At first, it sounded like distant voices and music, faint, indistinct, slowly growing louder. They assumed it was a group of people nearby, maybe partying, unusual, but not unheard of. Then the sounds moved closer. Suddenly, the motorhome was no longer just nearby noise. It was the target. Loud, violent bangs erupted from outside as unknown individuals began pounding on the vehicle from multiple sides. Charlene's dog, Holly, exploded into barking, her instincts immediately recognizing the danger. Chris and Charlene, still groggy from sleep, felt panic surge through their bodies as reality set in. There wasn't just one person outside, there were several, and their actions were deliberate, aggressive, menacing. Chris later described hearing a heavy thud land on the bonnet, followed by furious pounding along the sides of the motorhome. The noise grew louder, harder, more frantic. For a brief moment, Chris considered stepping outside, but the sheer number of people and the complete uncertainty of what they might do stopped him cold. Confrontation wasn't an option. They made a decision. Chris started the engine, and they drove off into the darkness, hearts racing, fear tightening in their chests. As the motorhome disappeared down the road, a new fear took hold, that the group might follow them. For roughly 15 minutes, they drove with no real destination, adrenaline flooding their systems. Only when the road finally felt empty did they stop. Even then, their hands were shaking. What had just happened was still sinking in. It was a complete shock, Charlene later said. We didn't know who they were or what they wanted. We just knew we had to get out of there. The next morning, parked safely in a new location, Chris and Charlene tried to process the night. There was no damage to the motor home, but emotionally, the impact lingered. They reflected on how quickly a peaceful park-up could turn into a nightmare. They had heard stories, vans targeted, travelers harassed, vehicles robbed, but never believed it would happen to them. That night became a wake-up call. They realized how important it is to avoid isolated spots at night and to stay constantly aware of their surroundings. Charlene admitted that in the past, they had sometimes grown too comfortable, sometimes even forgetting to lock the doors in places that felt safe. This encounter stripped that illusion away. Despite the terror of that night, Chris and Charlene were grateful. They escaped unharmed, Their motorhome remained intact. We were lucky this time, Chris reflected, but it was a lesson they will never forget. This encounter comes from the YouTube channel Swamp Valley, created by John, where he shares outdoor adventures, camping trips, survival techniques, bushcraft skills, and gear reviews. His content often encourages viewers to explore the outdoors themselves. On October 31st, 2018, John set out on another overnight camping trip, this time heading deep into the woodland surrounding the abandoned Dungville prison, a location long rumored to have a troubling past and alleged ghost sightings. What was meant to be a straightforward outdoor adventure soon began to take a darker turn. After arriving, John started hiking into the forest, documenting his surroundings while explaining the eerie history of the area to his viewers, unaware that the night ahead would become far more unsettling than he expected.
Well folks, I got a bit of a strange one for you today. I'm at the Dungaville Detention Centre, which has had some history around it. Basically, it didn't used to be a detention centre, it used to be a prison. I think it was 2002 it changed to a detention centre. And in 1962, 2 inmates escaped, fled into the woods. There's a big woodland here, and yeah, didn't find them. Thought they'd got away. A month later, they found their remains in some water tanks that are somewhere up here. I've done a bit of research, I'm hoping to find them, and I'm going to camp in the woods there, because apparently there's been all sorts of rumours and stories about ghosts and noises and, you know, just weird goings on. So I'm going to go find out about it. I don't believe in ghosts, just to clarify. Never seen one, never felt a presence. So this will be a bit different to your other ghost hunting ones. So it'll be interesting. See how we go.
As the sun began to set, John spent time exploring the crumbling remains of the old prison grounds. He even ventured into sections of an underground structure that added to the already uneasy atmosphere. The fading daylight cast long shadows through the trees, and the silence around the abandoned buildings felt heavy and oppressive. Once darkness fully settled in, he turned his attention to finding a suitable place to spend the night. Moving through the woodland, he searched for a safe clearing where he could set up and start a fire.
Yeah, I think this will do for the night. Can you even see? I think I need new batteries. I managed to find some birch bark. So far, nothing creepy. It's just a lovely woodland. I got myself some salami, or burgwurst is what it's called. But it's basically salami, and I got a nice sirloin steak, so I'm going to cook them up. I didn't bring a grill or anything out with me. I just thought I'd just go basic, and I was planning on cooking the steak on a flat rock, but it's so dark, trying to go around and find flat rocks is pretty difficult, so I'm just going to cook them on a stick. Okay, so I got my salami on the stick and I'm ready to cook. I actually just heard something there. Did you? I'm gonna check the recording. Let me see if I recorded that. Hold on. Right, so just check the recording, and you can hear it. I don't even know what, like, I actually recorded something, and I heard something, and it wasn't like birds or a deer. I don't know what the hell it was. Alright, so I've heard the noise again. I've packed up my bags. I'm getting the heck out of here. I'm not messing about with this stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna get out of here. It's gonna be a bugger because I gotta climb through them woods again. But obviously not very welcome here, and I'm okay with that. I think it's time to go. That fucking noise again. I don't even know where the hell I'm going. Just gonna get the fuck out of here. Oh. This is so shit. This is so fucking shit.
Trusting his instincts, John decided to pack up his camp and leave the area. But as he began moving away through the forest, the sound came back once again. The same strange, animalistic tone echoed through the trees, almost as if it were following his movement. Panic began to set in, and he focused on finding his way out of the woodland as quickly as possible. With full darkness surrounding him, the situation became even more difficult. The terrain was harder to navigate, his camera battery was running low, and the isolation made every sound in the forest seem louder and more threatening. The pressure was both physical and psychological. Despite the stress, John relied on his compass and eventually managed to make his way out of the woods safely. What had begun as an attempt to show that the area wasn't haunted ended with a very different impression. The repeated, unexplained noises, combined with the isolation and the feeling that something might be nearby, turned the night into a tense and deeply unsettling experience. John left the area not only with disturbing audio evidence, but also with a lasting reminder that deep in the wilderness, the line between the natural world and the unexplained can sometimes feel frighteningly thin. This is Will, the creator behind the YouTube channel Will's Whereabouts. He documents stealth camping trips across the UK, seeking quiet, isolation, and moments of peace in places most people pass without noticing. But one night, in a location he believed he knew well, Will would be reminded of a hard truth. You are never truly alone, and some encounters are better left unseen. The journey began in a familiar setting, a National Trust car park at Box Hill in the south of the UK. After cooking a meal with a friend and taking a walk, Will returned alone, choosing his spot for the night and preparing to settle in.
I think this will do for tonight's stealth camping. Anyway guys, welcome back to another video. Earlier, as you saw, I cooked and had some delicious fajitas with a friend of mine. We went for a walk and then we were starving hungry, so I ended up having a nice early dinner, used my outside cooking platform, which a lot of you guys probably haven't seen because, to be honest, I haven't used it a lot because the weather just hasn't been nice for it.
Speaking calmly to the camera, Will explained his setup. He felt comfortable here. He'd known this area for years. The car park sat beside a dense stretch of forest, a place that usually offered exactly what he was looking for: quiet, cover, and solitude.
Anyway, as I was saying, I am in a very familiar place. I actually used to live in this area with my parents a good few years ago now, and I used to work at a restaurant just round the corner, which is where I had my first ever job when I was about, how old? 16, 17 years old. Nah, what's this plonker doing? I'm in the beautiful countryside of Box Hill, which is in the Surrey Hills in the south of the UK. Tonight I'm actually going to be sleeping in the National Trust car park.
But as darkness crept in, the first signs of unease followed. The silence was shattered now and then by the sound of cars nearby, spinning donuts in the distance. The noise echoed through the trees, a reminder that isolation was an illusion.
I'm literally parked as far back into the forest as I can. There's a few other cars in this National Trust car park. I think there's probably people just having in cars. Time to lock this front door because I don't want anyone thinking that I'm here for a good time when all I really want to do is just go to sleep. The only door that isn't locked is the boot because I can't lock it.
Will continued preparing for the night, trying to tune it out. That's when he mentioned a serious problem. The boot of his car wouldn't lock, a single flaw, one open weakness. At the time, it felt manageable. As the night went on, it would feel anything but.
I don't think I'm going to be getting much sleep tonight. There are people about 100 meters away, blazing music out. At least some good songs anyway. And some people screaming. Wish me luck, everybody.
Just as Will was beginning to drift towards sleep, the fragile calm of the car park collapsed. Out of the darkness, a group of people appeared roughly 100 meters away. Music blasted into the night, spilling into the forest. Trapped inside his car, Will quickly realized the music wasn't the most unsettling part. Beneath it, he could hear people screaming, not laughing, screaming, lying still, hoping he hadn't been noticed. Will was left to imagine what was happening out there in the dark.
Morning, guys. You probably wouldn't believe that it is actually 7:30 and it's pitch black outside. Decided to get the gas stove warmed up just to take the chill out the air and get a bit warmer because it's freezing. Right now it's 1 degree and it certainly felt like that in the middle of the night, but it wasn't actually too bad because I sort of cocooned myself underneath the sleeping bag.
The night dragged on, restless and cold. The temperature dropped to 1 degree. Sleep came in short, uneasy stretches. When Will finally woke at 7:30 a.m., the world outside was still pitch black. The chaos from the night before had vanished. All that remained were birdsong, quiet and unnatural after what he had endured.
Nobody in the car park. The sun is just starting to come up, which I'll show you in a second. I'll get the drone up and I'll show you exactly where I stayed. This was the spot last night. You can hear the birds actually.
Will made it through the night without being harmed, but the feeling stayed with him. Who were those people, and what caused the screams that echoed through the forest in the middle of the night? It was a chilling reminder that even in places you think you know, danger can arrive without warning. And sometimes, the most terrifying things aren't hiding in the dark. They're close enough to hear, just beyond your door. Meet Bear, the man behind the YouTube channel Exploring with Bear. Through his videos, Bear ventures into the unknown, camping in remote, unsettling locations where most people wouldn't dare to go. From allegedly haunted forests to mysterious wilderness trails, he documents his experiences while searching for legends like Bigfoot and other cryptids. On a cold winter night, February 26, 2025, Bear set out to camp deep in a remote forest, determined to find evidence of cryptids. But as night fell, the trip took a disturbing turn. Strange, unnatural sounds echoed through the woods. Low growls, snapping branches, faint whispers carried on the wind. Each noise sent a chill down his spine, forcing him to wonder if he was truly alone or being watched from the shadows.
For today's adventure, I brought you to Shadow Figure Forest, where we're going to continue our search for Bigfoot, my boy. And look, right behind me, this wasn't cut down. Look at that, snap.
From the very beginning, Bear noticed unsettling signs that something or someone had been there. Trees were broken and twisted as if bent by immense force. The forest looked disturbed, like something unseen had moved through it. Still, Bear pressed forward, determined to uncover what was behind the strange signs.
is. All right, right back there, first nest.
Soon, footsteps echoed in the distance, mixing with unfamiliar sounds and brief glimpses of movement in the dark. With every passing minute, the forest grew darker and the night felt heavier. The noises increased, the movements multiplied, until even the shadows seemed alive. Then through the darkness, Bear spotted movement near a distant teepee. The shape was clear enough to make his stomach drop. In that moment, one terrifying truth hit him. He was not alone.
I thought I just seen movement over there again, like behind that teepee. I just got the freaking chills, man. Oh, my whole body's chilling. Right in there, I swore I seen something move back in there and over there.
Something was definitely out there, but what and why? As the hours dragged on, long stretches of silence were broken by sudden bursts of sound coming from all directions. The forest felt alive, closing in on him. Bear couldn't shake the overwhelming feeling of eyes watching from the darkness. Desperate for answers, he made a decision he would soon regret, testing the darkness to confirm what his instincts already told him. And when he did, the truth became impossible to deny.
It answered. It wasn't my whistle, it was a different one. I know you guys heard that.
His solo expedition had taken a dark and unexpected turn, pulling him deeper into the woods than he ever planned. Every minute tightened the knot in his gut, warning him that something was wrong with this place. Still, driven by determination and the belief that Bigfoot might be stalking him, Bear pushed on. Eventually, he found a spot to set up camp, but almost immediately, a deep sense of unease settled in.
This is freaking scary.
Something about the clearing felt wrong, like the forest itself was holding its breath. And then, while setting up his gear, the night revealed something truly disturbing.
Get my lighter out of my pocket. Camera was down on that. I seen something move right back there. Oh my goodness. Whew. This is crazy.
As Bear reached for his light, a chilling realization hit him. He wasn't alone. Even when he isn't actively searching for cryptids, they always seem to find him.
Chill here and see what we can't hear and see. Oh, I just seen red eyes. I swear I seen just red eyes.
Realizing the signs were too strong to ignore, Bear pulled out his homemade tree knocker. Every sound, every shadow, every movement pointed to one terrifying conclusion. Something was out there, something was circling him, watching. With each strike of the knocker against the trees, the forest fell silent, as if waiting, and then something moved. At that point, Bear knew things had gone too far. He decided it was time to leave the forest while he still could, but as he made his way out, something shifted behind him.
What the heck was that?
Branches snapped, footsteps moved through the trees. Terrified, Bear grabbed his camera and ran. desperate to escape whatever was stalking him in the darkness. And that leaves one final question. What was really out there that night? Was it Bigfoot silently moving through the forest, or something else entirely? Drop your theories in the comments below, and if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps keep these disturbing stories coming. The first story tonight comes from Bella Clark, a US-based outdoor creator who documents solo hiking trips, winter camping attempts, and exploration away from popular trails. Her channel focuses on realistic decision-making in difficult outdoor conditions and often features her traveling with her dog. Rather than staging dramatic moments, the videos show the challenges of the outdoors as they actually happen. This trip takes place on December 22nd, 2025, in Virginia.
Very bumpy road. More private property. Ooh, big bird. Oh, there's a bald eagle. Yeah, bald eagle. You're definitely not gonna be able to see it on the camera, but I promise there was one. Big puddle. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, but there is a Confederate flag on that tree. Welcome to Virginia. Feels so safe here. Okay, I'm starting to think that the person on the app that I don't trust already was lying. I've not seen a single campsite. Really pretty road though. It's really, really beautiful out here. So, you know, there's that. But look for the silver lining. Okay, another freaking crossing, and this one's like frozen over kind of. I'm gonna have to do all of this again when I turn around. And a huge mud puddle up here, of course. If I knew for a fact that there were campsites up ahead, I would be having an absolute ball, you know? But just the fact that I don't know where I'm going and I don't know if there are any campsites. Well, would you believe it? Another little creek crossing. This road keeps going for a while though, so I'm hoping it just turns in to dispersed camping areas. A girl can dream, am I right? Another creek crossing, by the way. So, let's knock this out real quick. Oh my god.
Bella reaches the trailhead later than planned and begins searching for a primitive campsite before darkness sets in. Using an off-road navigation app, she follows a series of narrow back roads covered in snow. Private property signs line the route, and the terrain quickly becomes difficult. Small creek crossings, muddy sections, and scattered rocks slow her progress. With each obstacle, the uncertainty grows, both about the safety of the vehicle and whether she will find a suitable place to camp before nightfall.
Well, that did not sound good, did it? There's a really big rock in the stream that I did not see. And I just rocked my shit. You okay down there? Well, I don't see anything leaking or dangling. Okay. I'm getting a little frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. That was not fun. Okay, I think this is my sign to turn around.
While attempting to cross one of the creeks, Bella's vehicle suddenly strikes a large rock hidden beneath the water. The impact is sharp and loud, scraping the underside of the car. She immediately stops to check for damage. After inspecting the vehicle, she's relieved to see that nothing appears to be leaking or broken. Even so, the moment serves as a reminder of how quickly winter terrain and unfamiliar roads can turn risky.
That was quite humbling, I'm not gonna lie. Okay guys, change of plans. No camping tonight, unfortunately. I just can't find anywhere. Again, if anybody knows any primitive campsites, even just in Virginia, like, please let me know, because I don't know why these aren't more accessible. Maybe I'm just stupid and like can't find the right websites, but I've been on different websites, different apps, and I just can't seem to find anything.
After searching several areas without success, Bella begins to realize that none of the potential campsites are accessible. As daylight continues to fade, frustration slowly gives way to caution. Rather than push forward into worsening conditions, she makes the decision to abandon the camping plan entirely. recognizing that continuing would be unsafe.
Man, that sun's starting to go down, and it is getting cold. Wow, it's so pretty though. You got it. Oh, good job. Good job. Okay, this was the first part. I had to carry her up, but I think she's a little more confident going down, which is a little scary because, you know, she could easily just fall right down there, and that wouldn't be good. You got it? Let's jump down right here. It's this right here. It's right here. Yeah. Wow, good job.
With camping no longer an option, the hike itself becomes the focus of the challenge. Bella begins climbing a steep and rocky trail, carrying her small dog, Brixie, across the most difficult sections. Snow and ice cover much of the ground, and loose rocks create constant slipping hazards. Each step requires careful footing as she works her way toward higher elevation.
It's getting dark. It's a little spooky. Better get back to the car. She sees deer. Come on, let's go. We have about 1.7 miles left. And Brixie's booty, the Velcro keeps getting a bunch of ice and snow packed down on it. And it's just not holding, and they keep... That one specifically just keeps falling off. But I'm just gonna leave it for now, because we're almost back at the car. We have less than a mile, but it's kind of getting dark and it's starting to get hard to see where I'm walking. But I'm hoping I won't have to stop and get my headlamp out. And booty's officially off, and it is officially dark. I think I'm gonna have to bust out the headlamp here. Okay, that's much, much better. My God.
By the time evening arrives, Bella is completing the final stretch of the hike in near total darkness. The trail is quiet and isolated, and the falling temperatures add to the tension of the moment. Using a headlamp, she carefully navigates the final 1.7 miles, demonstrating both patience and preparation as she continues safely through the winter conditions. Eventually, Bella returns to her vehicle and warms up with hot drinks and snacks. Looking back on the experience, she shares an important lesson from the trip. Always confirm campsite access before committing to a winter outing. Although the original camping plan didn't work out, she still finds the hike rewarding. The snow-covered landscape, the quiet forest, and sightings of wildlife, including deer, turn the difficult day into a memorable adventure. The video ends on a calm note, reminding viewers that even when plans change, the outdoors can still offer beauty, challenge, and a sense of accomplishment.